All right, guys. Good morning. I'm hoping this is working, guys. I don't see any dropped frames so far. I am live streaming over 4G right now because I don't have any Comcast at my house because Comcast sucks. And my internet went out on Friday. It was the worst timing ever. And I have been out internet all friggin' weekend. And I'm still out internet. And I'm waiting for a Comcast guy to get to my house. So, yo, Quad. How's the stream, brother? Neil 9000. How are you guys? And how's the stream? Because I'm streaming over 4G right now. I went and I spent $1 million on an unlimited data plan so that I could stream to you guys over my 4G wireless phone. What's up, Camel? Hey, Wade. LaunchBox forever. Godsend, yeah. What's going on? So far, so good. I'm glad to hear it. I can't believe it's working. So, for those of you guys just getting on, my Comcast died on Friday. And I went out and I went to Best Buy, I ran to Best Buy, I got a replacement modem because I thought my modem was busted because that's happened before. And I replaced the modem and I spent like 2 hours on the phone with Comcast only to find out that there's something wrong with the line going to my house. So I haven't had Comcast internet all weekend. So I went and I just got an unlimited data plan through Verizon, my cell phone provider. And believe it or not, we are streaming right now over 4G over my cell phone. So hopefully it lasts. Hopefully I don't crash. I don't crash Verizon trying to stream for 3 hours over 4G. We'll see how that works. Camel, can yes, go for it. So is YouTube not working? Shows offline. That's not a good thing. I don't have any dropped frames. All right. We may have a little bit of a stability problem. We just might, guys, and unfortunately, there's not going to be anything I can do about that. But it would be largely because I'm streaming over 4G right now because I don't have Comcast internet. So, yeah, bear with me. So, how do you set CLI arguments after the path? Where's my restream here? How do you set CLI arguments after the path? After the path, command line interface arguments after the path. Basically, what you do is you use a variable um, in the startup command line, but I don't remember exactly what that variable is, so I'm gonna have to look that up. Um, where am I at? I need the game class quickly here. And the play method or play emulator. And I'm looking for okay, percent ROM file, percent. So if you put that in the startup parameters, if you put percent ROM file, percent space, whatever your parameters that go after it are, that will allow you to do it that way, Camel. Hey, Stifilus, Dave, Fallwin, Scott. Welcome, guys. A lot of in real life streamers stream over wireless and it chews up data big time. Yes, it does. Believe it or not, well, I mean, the first thing I did because I didn't have internet this weekend was I upgraded to the 8 GB data plan, which cost me money. And then I went and I upgraded to the unlimited data plan, which cost me more money. So I think my data plan right now is just the data plan is like $120 a month. So it's absurd. Definitely not something I want to do forever because having an unlimited wireless data plan is actually more expensive than my business Comcast internet. Nuts. But, you know, I'm glad it's available because otherwise I wouldn't be able to stream to you guys right now. And I would have had an awful time this weekend. So I'm glad we can at least do that. Also glad I got a new phone recently because otherwise I would have been having trouble. Hey, Slip System, Charco. What happened to my internet? I don't know what happened to my internet. I spent half the day on Friday trying to troubleshoot what happened to my internet. We think something happened to the line outside. Funny thing was, the internet went down. It's just me, I know that, and the internet went down in like perfectly clear weather. So the only thing I can figure is a squirrel got to the wires somewhere or something. You know, I don't really know. It doesn't make any sense. But I've been, you know, waiting for Comcast to get out to me for 3 days now. Hey, CKP. Very quiet. Am I quiet? Hey, Graham. Per game. What do you mean per game, Camel? Yeah, that's for emulators. That is for the emulator configuration. So yeah, you edit the emulator, you put this in the command line parameters, %ROM file %, and then whatever parameters you want after that. I think it's more quiet than usual. I think my microphone might be turned down. I'm kind of hesitant to turn it up though during the stream because it might, I don't know. Hey Phil, Pure Luck, Comcast. Yes, unfortunately that is all I got out here. There's no other options. Trucky McTruckface, howdy. Give you an example. Sure. So if I load up LaunchBox here, what do I got it started already? What's going on? Apparently I did. Interesting. I've seen that a couple times now where LaunchBox and Big Box didn't close, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. We have a couple minor issues that I really need to look at with the beta before I can put out a release. Anyways, let's just go to Manage Emulators, and then if I load up, it doesn't matter. Huygen, for example. In your default command line parameters, this is where you would put it. You would just do %ROM file, there we go, %ROM file % -- full screen. And these would be whatever parameters you want after that. So it's that simple. Let me see if I can fix this audio issue, guys. Give me a second here. Check. Levels. Check. Any better? Does that sound any better? Can you guys hear me? Hey, Phobos. Hey, Chris. Has anyone done LED Blinky yet? LED Blinky is a thing. Yeah, I've done LED Blinky. What's your question about that, Phil? Hey, Jade. How you doing, Jade? Omen Boy. A bit better, okay. Any chance of porting this to Linux, specifically Raspberry Pi 3? Hey, Cody. That's come up recently, and yes, there is a chance eventually, but it isn't going to be a major priority right now, unfortunately, especially since we have good mobile solutions already. I don't think that we're going to be focusing on that. Hey, EA. Woot. All right. So, all right, guys. So, anyways, well, hopefully that helps, Camel. I mean, let me know if that's not working. You remember that you have the default command line parameters here, and then each particular platform also has default command line parameters. So the way this works is if this is blank in your platform, then it's going to use whatever you got in this box. And then it can also be overridden on a game by game basis. So you got to remember all those things. Oh, programming. You don't understand how to use it and how it works, and lots of looking on YouTube, but not helpful. Yeah, it can be a little bit difficult. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Um, Although Artzu is the developer, the LED Blinky developer, ARZOO Artzu, and he's on our forums. Pretty, I mean, I see him on there every once in a while, so I know he's there. If you, I don't know, maybe you've already talked to him, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's not easy because it's just a complicated thing to set up. But there are people on the forums that can help you out. So just ask. I'm not sure if you already have, but ask on our forums and see if somebody can help you get started with it. You're gonna have to tinker though. It's not something that's just gonna work. So, Phobos, did I get my arcade stick yet? And my thoughts on it. I did get my arcade stick. I got the Emulator Edition Plus from Rec Room Masters, and I'm going to be doing a quick review on that maybe later this week, if not soon. So yeah, I have it. It's almost all positive thoughts. It's a very very good solution, and I consider it to be a better solution than the previous emulator edition, which means a lot because I had very few complaints about that device, and that's definitely my favorite part of my upright arcade cabinet is that stick. It's not a stick though. I mean, it's a whole big thing. Sure, Dave. Cool, Camel. All right. So development, guys. Uh, we have the one key issue, the biggest issue that I've got to look into is basically what's happening here for some people, and I'm not sure. Like I've only heard it from one person, but supposedly he's seen it from several people. So I need you guys to chime in here and let me know if you guys have ever seen this. It happens every once in a while where you start up LaunchBox and BigBox, and LaunchBox and BigBox seem to be like they're not closing right now, which is in the beta, which scares me a little bit. It's either plugin related or it's related to the startup performance fixes. Not quite sure why that's happening, but that's definitely something I've got to look into. So ultimately, it's getting stuck on caching playlists. And it goes really quick on my system, obviously. But somehow or other, caching playlists is getting stuck. And I really got to get that fixed because I can't put out a release until it is. So, and we are fairly close to a release here, I think. The plugin stuff, there's certainly still more we can do, but you know, I've spent a good 2 weeks on it, and I think most people's wishes are in there, so won't be too long before we pop out a release here. But anyways, I got to look at Andrew Nintendo, sending PMs with him, and this is basically what happens. Is it's weird because it never locks up, and it just keeps going and going and going. And he did get this error though, so I need to start there and figure out what I can see what might be happening there. So local db.getDataset is having trouble reading the metadata XML file. The problem with that though is I'm not sure if that is the cause or if that is just the result of having this issue repeatedly over and over. So it's kind of tricky. Neil K. Ran into an issue once where I called save too many times in iData Manager and it seemed to never return from the save function. I was in a thread, but I was really hitting that function hard. Yeah. Neil, that might be related to what we're seeing actually, as far as the not closing, possibly. Westy boy, I assume you mean like LaunchBox not exiting? Hey, media. Could you expose LaunchBox is registered somehow for the plugin stuff? Are you're talking about like premium? Death row, mass edit your ROM locations. There is not actually. There's not an easy way to do that. The best way to do it is, and I know that's been on my list for a very long time. The best way to do that is to use a text editor right now. But guys, a plugin, if somebody wanted to build a plugin to mass edit ROM locations, that would be a really, really, really good thing. I think I'm not sure, there might be something on the forums already. I don't think so though. So that is something we need. The only issue you have, sometimes Big Box will stop loading box art, and the only way to fix it is to clear the cache. I've seen that before. It's just been a really long time. But yeah, I have seen that. Right now to check premium. I'm curious, guys. Why do you need to check for premium? I'm just curious. But I guess it makes sense. I mean, I can add that in. Yeah, no problem. Video management in the edit window for a game is needed too. Can you elaborate on that, Camel? Mass edit ROM locations have done it with Notepad++, but it'd be great to have something like that built in. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, you run logic that updates custom fields, and it's not worth doing it if it's not premium. Of course. I get it. That makes sense. Cool. All right. So, what are we going to do about this? This is not going to be an easy one, to be honest, guys. It really is not going to be easy, but I got to do something about it. So, one thing that's interesting, I want to start with this Metadata XML stuff, and this is in Unbroken LaunchBox Search, LocalDB, Get Data Set. in this guy. And dataset is right here. It's just the getter. One thing that could be causing this is if it's trying to do this more than once, threading it. So maybe we should do something about that. Neil K. This would be a good situation to use a lock, I believe. Is Zelza baby. I made that 3D big box thingy a while ago. Yeah, that was awesome. And now the VR test. Check the VR test, my friend. I haven't found that on the forums yet, but I haven't been through everything. If I were to release anything like that, it would make big box kind of obsolete. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't, brother. I'm not worried about that. So that's why I want to check. Well, what do you want to check exactly? Billy, is there an ETA on when this week to expect 7.10? Planning on buying and setting up LaunchBox for the first time this week. Cool. I think I'm not quite sure. Maybe Thursday, but it's it's always up in the air. But there's no reason to wait if you're looking to buy it. If you will always get the upgrades, at least for a year. If you buy the year license, you'll get updates for a year. If you buy the forever license, you'll get updates forever. So don't worry about waiting or anything, because you'll get the update when it comes out. Hey, Poke. If you pay for big box, will it change US dollars to GBP? Yes, it should. It should automatically handle the conversions for you through Stripe. Hey, Bad Vibes. As this is a theoretically nullable value, you'd want to throw in a static object lock name equals new objects and then call lock name. That's what I had in mind. Cool, Neil. Thank you. /guns, because the option shutdown disappears when you activate the security code in big box. Where's that coming from? Oh, I get it. I get it. You want to check to see if it's premium. Ah, thank you. I get that now. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. I can add that, guys. No problem. That's easy enough to do. Well, let me see what I can do here. We're gonna add a lock. Let's do a private static object DataSetLock. I guess equals new object. That'll do just fine. And then we just lock on DataSetLock. I think. That look good, Neil? Okay, reason was to have the duplicate image prevention stuff in place from the start. Absolutely. Well, you could always use the beta too, Billy. But yeah, feel free to wait. That's fine. Or, the other thing is the cleanup images will automatically get rid of any duplicates anyways. So after you get done. So you could save some time by waiting, but you will be able to clean anything up, of course, after the fact. Is it possible for plugins to add menu items to the main menu? It is, yes. like a custom options menu. It'd be cool to have tools menu to launch programs, or in my case, AutoHotkey scripts that close stubborn emus. I see. So right now there's no way to add a completely new menu. Actually, there is a way to add a completely new menu item, but you have to tie directly into the form to do that. So, I mean, basically you can do whatever you want in the interface right now because you actually, the plugin developers actually have access to the actual form of the application. So, this is crazy. I don't know. I didn't, what did I change to make it so LaunchBox never exits now? I don't understand that. But we'll rebuild this and see if this fixes anything. That will let one thread in at a time on that lock. Slash guns, did I understand your question? I'm sorry, I did not. So give it another shot here so I can try and answer you. Give others easier access to those more annoying things to do. Yeah. Okay. So we are built. I mean, let's see. I don't know. It seems like right now I can't even close it out properly, which is weird because when I was testing on Friday, I didn't have that issue, or Thursday, or whenever I. No plugin. Oh, you might. That's it. Duh. That's what I should look at. That is definitely what I should look at. I bet that's what's going on because I did change the plugins. Duh. And we're gonna need to do something about that, honestly, because like that can't happen. But I'm willing to bet that's exactly what's going on, Neil. I don't know why I didn't think about that. So right now, yeah, my LaunchBox is still open and it's just refusing to close, and I have an idea of what's going on. So in my plugins folder, I have Add to GamesDB and Steam Tools. I think the Add to GamesDB was the last one I added, so I'm going to try taking that one out of here for now, and we'll see if it solves the issue. Go ahead and close. There it goes. Actually, LaunchBox is still open right now. It can take a second to save everything and shut down, but I don't think it's supposed to take this long. Yeah, it's still not fixed. Okay, let's try the other one. Interesting. It's still there. Let's see if it still does it now. This is the right folder, right? Yeah. Hey, Kev. We're basically just doing whatever we can to wrap up this release. I'm trying to figure out some bugs right now. Cool, Neil. Feel free to message me, man, and we can get that stuff in. Billy, is there anything that could be added or changed in LaunchBox to make changing disks and things like PCSX2 more easy, or would that require too much integration with the inner workings of the emulator? Yeah, that is the trick. on that, Billy. The problem is that we would need to code a custom interface of sorts for every single emulator in order to support that properly. And of course, Rocket Launcher does do that. So at this point, Rocket Launcher is going to be our best solution for stuff like that, because the amount of time and effort that would have to go into that would be tremendous. So, and the other problem is anytime an emulator changes anything, there's a risk that we're going to have to rework it. So that's a tricky one. Unfortunately, there's not really a good way to do that. And even if we did try and tackle that, some emulators are going to allow for it, and some emulators are going to provide a way to do that, but not all of them. So some emulators, there's just absolutely no way that we could tie into the disk changing stuff to make it happen seamlessly. But it's pretty tricky. The option to turn off your computer is not there if you activate the security code. That's weird. You mean if you unlock Big Box, the option to turn off your computer is not there? Is that a new glitch? All right. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. I know that was working. I'm not sure. Okay. Are we going to close out now? Yeah. Okay, Neil. Yeah, it's the Steam Tools plugin. I probably have an outdated version of it, but it is the Steam Tools plugin. Yep. Will it charge you for the conversion? The conversion from USD to GPD, it'll just use regular conversion rates. Honestly, I mean I'm not an expert on that stuff. I don't know. I don't know what you just have to go check and see what it's going to charge you. There's not going to be any hidden fees. It'll charge you exactly what it tells you it's going to charge you. And you'll be able to see what the amount is before you pay. I hope. I'm not an expert on that, to be honest, but Neil, I'm glad we got that figured out at least. Hey, Alex, Animator Alex, we are working on just fixing some bugs and wrapping up the release here. The rare bug in Steam Tools normally affects startup and not shutdown. The other issue that I was looking at, supposedly he didn't have any plugins loaded. Hey, Rudy. Whether you get charged for buying in other currencies depends on your bank. Ah, I see. Okay. See, guys, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I know how to code, and that's about it, folks. There is an option to allow exit. There's a checkbox in the menu to allow exit unlock. Thank you, Sammy. There is. However, I'm not quite sure that's what he's talking about. Hey, Double O. When you lock your machine, there is no shutdown or restart menu item. That is correct. When you lock your big box, it won't let you shut down or restart. Hey, D. I'm on 101. So I'm outdated, Neil. That could be why. Good to know. But really, I mean, we should make sure that can't happen, if that makes sense. I need to figure out how to prevent that from happening, because I do not want that. I don't want plugin developers to be able to make it never exit, if that makes sense. I'm not sure how to do that though. Yeah, Omen boy, and that's the issue with trying to get that working. Period, because it's unavoidable that whenever an emulator changes, you're gonna have to update a bunch of scripts. So it's like it's impossible to functionality like that it integrates directly with every single emulator to that degree. It's impossible to do it without running into updating issues. And with Rocket Launcher, that's what they do. That's all they do. What we do is we build a front end. And if we started focusing on that stuff where we have to constantly update all the code and all the scripts for all the emulators, we'd never get anywhere with the front end. So it's kind of tricky. Timeout in a thread. Yeah, and I don't really want to do that. Well, it's not complex to create a timeout and just kill the process. But at the same time, that's dirty. If I prevent what from happening? Slip system. Thank you, media. I appreciate that. Oh, timeout each plugin and kill each one. I see. Yeah, they don't run in separate processes though. So in theory, all I would really need to do is put in a timeout of sorts whenever like the main form closes. And after I'm done wrapping everything up, put in a timeout and then just basically run environment.exit, which would basically just mass kill everything, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong though, I'm not sure. Shutdown option is deactivated when it is enabled. There is the security code option. I still don't get it. I still don't get it. Let me check on that real quick. So, right now, there is no shutdown option because we're locked. If I unlock, then the shutdown shows up. And if I lock again, the shutdown disappears. So that is exactly what is supposed to be happening. There is an option to, where is this though? Security, there it is. Allow exit while locked, although that's not allow shutdown while locked. So maybe that's what you're referring to, that we need to add an option for allow shutdown while locked. Oh, when you prevent people from being able to break LaunchBox, that will break it even worse. There's definitely some truth in that, Slip System. You're absolutely right. Lacks anything, it should be able to hang in version 0.1.0.0 on shutdown. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I know, yeah, I don't know. Be careful that, man, 84. But thank you for that lifetime purchase. Thank you very much. Can plugins be added to that menu or use that option? So I assume you mean in the options items here. No, not right now. There's no way to add options to this right for the moment. Although I agree that that is definitely something that we should add. The ability to add an option to the settings menus. Falcon, the other day you were running LaunchBox and had a power blip which rebooted your computer. After starting LaunchBox, it gives me an error with settings.xml. So Falcon, basically what happened is you had a file system issue because your computer was just, rebooted like that. What you can do, you get two options. The first is to just delete settings.xml. LaunchBox /data/settings.xml, just delete it, and that will revert to all your previous, or all the default settings. And that should take away that error. The other option is to go in your backups folder, and in your backups folder there will be backup settings.xml files, and you can restore one. Yeah, Dave, that makes sense. So the ability to add settings options into the options, definitely, that makes a lot of sense, and we'll get that in there. I'm not sure if we're going to get that in there before the official release or not, but we definitely should. Can you have the shutdown option when the security code is active? So that's what you're looking for. You basically want allow shutdown while locked. I get it now. That makes sense. We won't get that in there today because I got to wrap up this release, but we definitely should add that. I think we probably already have a ticket for that, to be honest. When opening the setting file, it was empty. That makes sense. So go ahead and delete that settings file and try and restore one from your backup folder, Falcon. Nosh, hey Nosh, I checked out your theme this morning, man. It looks amazing. I commented on the forum post. I'm loving that. I really am. Yeah, we definitely don't want to replicate all of Rocket Launcher and LaunchBox. There would just be too much work, and we would never get anything else done. Which is why I have put that off for so long, despite so many requests for it, because it's just not going to be a productive venture. Because they do it better than anybody else, and if we started tackling that, we would never get anything else done. That's a good point, CKP. Module had to be rewritten constantly. Yeah, I believe it. Me too, Nosh. I really am. I was looking at it this morning and drooling. So you get that guy going, man. Get it going, please. Get an early release out there. But yeah, I'll work with you to get some of the requests in there as well. Use your own settings form in LaunchBox, but integrating it would make things easier and allow Big Box to have settings. Yes. So agreed. That's a good point, and maybe we could get to some of that stuff today. I'm not against adding some new plugin features today. I could do that. I think today is the last day that I should probably be adding new features. The other thing is I still have that bug, that startup bug that I really got to look into, but it's possible that I fixed that already with the thread lock. So I'll probably have to get back to Andrew Nintendo and see if that helps anything, since I've never been able to replicate it anyways. Question for you guys: Has anybody ever seen the LaunchBox startup process just sit there and wait on caching playlists forever? Is that anything anybody's ever seen before? Retro, do I use Rocket Launcher? To be honest, I have in the past, but right now I'm not. I like simplicity, and I just don't. It's just my personal collection. I just don't have the desire to maintain it all. Although at the same time, it does some really, really awesome stuff, and I hate saying that because I love what Rocket Launcher does, and there's so many things that so many people love about it and absolutely have to have. It's just that for me personally, I like a simpler approach. So I don't at all want to bash Rocket Launcher or any of the features because there's so many awesome features. But no, personally in my own collection, I don't. Yeah, like the fades and the progress bars and all that stuff. Cool, Neil. Rocket Launch, yeah, Rocket Launcher integrates perfectly with LaunchBox now. There's not much of a reason to add their functionality. Agreed. And that's what we're going to stick with and run with. There has literally been only like one thing I have just said no on. Well, there's been a few things I've said no on. But honestly, the thing I say no on to the community the most is, will you integrate Rocket Launcher stuff? And my answer continues to be no, because I know it would destroy our project. And so there's just some things we can't do, and that's one of the things that we can't do. Wouldn't be a good idea. Use Rocket Launcher, guys. Use Rocket Launcher. That's the best approach. Awesome, Nosh. Did the EXO stuff get added while you've been away? I think EXO's still working, but I haven't looked. I did talk to him this morning though, actually. But yes, EXO has been appeased. New plugin feature, Bool is big box. I think I added that. I think. Maybe not. I'll check on that in a little bit. Hey, David. David Bauer. You can do EXO DOS, Jade? I'm confused. Guys, I never prayed today. What the heck? What is wrong with me? Hey, Chris. Chris Castaldi. He is the awesome guy that built that VR experience, guys. Hey, Sid. Needs time to support trackball and menu. Good to hear, CKP. I remember when your startup was awful slow, too. That's funny. Evening, Mark. I love EXO, too. He's amazing. He's a great guy. You need a new DLL from me in .NET 3.5 instead of 4.0. Oh, that might be a problem, Chris. Must be a funny text. Yes, it was a funny text. We should pray for Keltoy. What's going on with Keltoy? Anybody have any prayer requests? Actually, yeah. EA, remind me though, man. I feel bad because I should remember what's going on with Keltoy, but to be completely honest, I don't. So forgive me for that. I remember we did pray for Keltoy in the last stream though. I'm just trying to remember exactly. Yeah, I'm flawed, guys. Sorry. Wish I could remember everything, but I can't. So hit me up, EA. Remind me. And then also, guys, if you have any prayer requests, let me know so we can pray here. Hey, James. Life. Yes. Life is flawed. You built the plugin for LaunchBox, which then launches your VR app with an argument. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Checking, EA. Oh no. Oh man, I didn't even. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Keltoy says, I regret to inform everyone that I'll be taking a leave of absence for an unknown amount of time. My only remaining grandfather suddenly passed away this morning after a long battle with cirrhosis of the liver. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But, yeah, we'll definitely pray for Keltoy. All right, guys. Well, let's pray. Lord, thank you for this community. Thank you that I'm able to stream here despite the fact that I don't have internet access. Thank you for just always meeting every one of my needs and being there for this community. And thank you that you provided everything we need to keep going here, Lord. Pray that you would be with us in our everyday struggles, our battles. Just help us to lead lives that glorify you. Help us to feel, good about ourselves. Help us to make positive decisions and just know that you love us, Lord. I pray that you would be with Keltoy and the rest of his family as he goes through this awful time of, of missing his grandfather, Lord. And I pray that you would be with everybody else on the stream. Help us to support each other. Help us to just enjoy each other's company. Help us to be productive, but more importantly, Lord, we want to be just helpful to everybody around us. We want to love each other. We want to support each other. We just want to have an awesome community, Lord, full of nothing but support and love. And we already do, and we know that that already comes from you. Always comes from you. So thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Correct in my pronunciation. That is good. Is there anything in LaunchBox that can surface game suggestions based on what other users are playing / rating or based on what you have been playing yourself? No, not yet. But that is exciting stuff. And I hope we can get that at some point here. Thank you, Kev. I feel so privileged to be able to do that, I really do. I'm on 4G right now, Jade, believe it or not. We talked about that at the beginning of the stream. I am streaming over 4G on my phone, and believe it or not, it's working. It's kind of amazing. I have had quite a few dropped frames, but it hasn't been horrible, so thank goodness for that. Kind of amazing. Yeah, it's working, guys. I'm amazed. This is Verizon, Verizon 4G, and I did a speed test just to see how likely it was gonna actually work, and I got like 15 megabits per second up, which is apparently enough. So I have not. I honestly, well, Chris, this past weekend I've been like swamped. I had a birthday party and a whole bunch of church stuff, and I just been it's been awful. I, I shouldn't say that because it hasn't been awful, but like I get so peopled out over the weekends when I have to go from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and I just got so exhausted this weekend. But it's funny. I'm so happy to be back in my office Monday morning. Nothing better than that to me. The weekends are more work for me than the week is because I have to be sociable and I have to like go out of my house, which is a challenge for me occasionally. Hotspot boys. If you were to stream in 4G in Germany, it would be faster to print out each frame and hand them out by hand personally to everyone. That's great. I do have pretty good service. It's not perfect though. My Comcast died on Friday, James, and we still don't know what's going on. I'm waiting for a service tech to get out here. Cool, Neil. Stability. Yeah, and it's been stable enough. Yeah, I don't know that I would drop Comcast. I'm not sure. Well, the thing is, I use a lot more data than most people, and I'm sure if I did my normal habits on unlimited 4G, Verizon would be all over my. I mean, I would they would turn me off because I use Crash Plan to back everything up, and so I'm backing up literally maybe 10 gigs a day. Um, so yeah, not a good idea for me. But if and then on top of that, we got video streaming, we got Netflix. Oh man, so that's just not a good idea for me personally. But it might work for you. I don't know. I'd be interested to know like how much you have to use before Verizon gets angry with you. Get a progress bar, FF Poke. Yeah, that's planned for eventually. We might get a plugin in there that does that too. An option be available to show a specific set to download in LaunchBox without always having to follow all the forum posts. Well, most of that stuff on fan art should come from the LaunchBox Games database. But we've talked about image sets in the past, D, and it's still something I want to add. Though there's probably not going to be it's not going to happen that soon because I don't think that's on the poll. Cell connections uploads 3 times faster than your home connection. I feel for you, man. You don't have to leave the house to talk to people. Yes, that's a win. Hey, Larry. Connect to your neighbor's Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, none of my neighbors have open Wi-Fi. I substitute your reality and replace it with my own. Yes. Adam Savage, guys. He is one of my favorites. He really is. He's always been one of my favorites. I think I've probably told this story before. I'm a nerd. Back when, I don't know, maybe 5, 10 years ago, back when Mythbusters was still on and all that stuff, I tweeted Adam Savage. This is actually back before LaunchBox really took off. I tweeted Adam Savage and he responded to me, and I felt like, okay, I can die now, which is silly, but because really all he said was thank you. But it was Adam Savage has always been a huge deal for me. Yeah, close to your 1 terabyte cap every month. Yeah. You know what I did to get past that my caps. I got business internet. That's what I did. And internet in rural Canada is an absolute joke as well. Yeah. Even in the U.S., we've been having that problem. We had that problem in Colorado trying to find decent internet. It's tough in rural. I can never say that stupid word. Rural areas. But all your neighbors have a default Wi-Fi router password. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go hack all my neighbors' CKP. 300 down and 30 up. Yeah, I don't think that they're really going to beat that. I miss Mythbusters too, man. I really do. Well, there's your problem. Yeah, you should be, Sid. You should be happy about that. I do have a Twitter. Yep. Well, I use the LaunchBox Twitter. That's really the only Twitter I use. Yeah, I have business Comcast. Yep, it is unacceptable. It's ridiculous. What am I going to do, though? What server are you unable to connect to, James? You're talking about the FTP? Korea. Rural juror. I want some Fios, man. That would be nice. Ten megabit up and 1 megabit down? That's weird. South Africa. Someone made a tool. You can see a router with the default name. You put it in and give you the default pass for the router. So yeah. All right. I'm not gonna go hacking anybody's routers, guys. Okay. So back to work. Back to work. So I guess maybe I'm gonna hope that this is fixed. I'm not gonna spend all day trying to replicate an issue that I've never been able to replicate. So at least this will. I mean, well, I'll put out a beta later today. I don't have too much stuff that I need to get done. So I'm going to be putting out a beta with this stuff here, that so that Andrew Nintendo can test it. Beyond that, we need to. We might as well just keep working on plugin stuff in the meantime. So first off, if we go into the plugins project, we got the plugin helper. I think we wanted something to check to see if it was big box or not. And Neil mentioned, so Neil mentioned that State Manager though should, I thought I had added that to State Manager. Maybe not. Is big box locked? Okay, we don't have is big box. Well, that's relatively simple. So I'm just going to add a Boolean is big box. And then we also wanted something for is premium. So I might as well get that in there as well, since that came up earlier. Whether big box, whether the running application is big box true or LaunchBox false. Okay, and then is premium gets a value specifying whether the current user is licensed for LaunchBox Premium. That, to be honest, guys, might be an issue for me to code on the stream, because I don't want to give too much away about my licensing system. We might see some keys or something like that. So when I code that, I'm going to have to drag my code over to the other screen briefly. Otherwise, we might have a security issue there. So just to be honest on that. But that won't take but 2 seconds, so no big deal there. Okay, and we have to implement this stuff. This is unbroken.launchbox. So basically I guess we just need to set those values. Public bool is big box, get and set, and public bool is premium, get and set. And then we have to set those. And basically we need to do that on startup. So when we create our state manager object, you know what I'm going to do? Make this easier on myself. Public state manager bool is big box, bool is premium, and I'm going to say this dot is big box equals is big box, this dot is premium equals is premium, and that will give me a compile error so I can find this stuff easy. Orange County, there you go. California, I assume, poke. Get all games for platform. I remember that. Yep. I could, although I'm not going to do that right this instant, Neil. We can always add that later. Silver Child, you talking to me about my ancestors? My ancestors are from Scotland, actually. I know I have Scottish blood in me, but I'm a mutt. I mean, all over the place. Public utility method can be used to make bound text uppercase in big box. Bound text uppercase in big box. There is a way to actually do that directly in XAML, Nosh. Just with and I'd have to look it up, so I'm not going to do that right this instant, but there is a way to do that just straight up in XAML, because I have seen that done before. Hey, Nicolaj. All right. So we have to, and this is where I've got to hide what I'm doing here for just a second. This is okay. There we are. All done. Cool. So now that stuff is available, is big box and is premium. So next, what are we gonna do next? I know NJ Dave 71 wanted a way to create a shortcut key, but I don't think I can get that done today, so I probably won't tackle that. What else are we looking for here? I know another thing was you guys wanted the ability to add options to the settings. So there's that. Absolutely, Azelzi. I don't know how to say your name, man. Oh yeah, get all platforms and get all games. We can look into that, sure. That's an easy thing to add. We have, yeah, let's do that. So that's in I platform to get all games. Let's start there. Now we have iPlatform categories. Is it playlist.getAllGames? What do we have? What already has that? That's the thing. Get all games, bool sort. Platform category. So platform category already has get all games, include hidden, and include broken. And I want to do the exact same thing for platform. So is it only platform that we need, Neil? Is that what we need? There are already ways to do this, but, you know, might as well make it easier on folks. So we have to add that. And of course, our game object just needs that added. .NET 3.5 DLL. So you want you want a plugins DLL in .NET 3.5? I will, Camel. I'm trying. I will sit still. I'm gonna try. I assume you guys are hearing my leg bouncing, huh? Key mapping can wait. App.config would be great. App.config. Well, I know what app.config is. What do you mean there though, Dave? Age restriction. Sure. Can't do it when dynamically binding. I see. Okay. Basically, there's a .NET call that will also do it for you. So I believe you can probably just put that directly in the XAML as well, but I'm not sure. I really don't know. But talk to me on the forums and we'll figure it out, Nosh. Hey, Shavat. Nice to see you too. Nothing works. Okay. But we'll figure it out. Yeah, the .NET 3.5 DLL would be tricky because we are... No, it wouldn't. The .NET 3.5 DLL could be done. And the way we would do that is all we'd have to do is just change the properties on the plugin project to target .NET 3.5 instead of 4.5.2. And assuming we weren't using any 3.5 or any 4.5 or 4.6, whatever. It's 4.6.2 right now, I think. Assuming we weren't using any of those features, it should work fine. Because of the way I built my references, in theory. So we can try that. Might as well. See what happens. Although I still don't know, Chris, why you need the 3.5 support. That way you can use the libraries in Unity 3D and it can get complete control of Big Box. It can pull images and stuff based on what is selected. Okay. I see. Because Unity 3D is in .NET 3.5. I get what you're saying. Oh, the project is targeting framework 4.6.1 instead of 4.6.2. Oh, okay. Thank you, Nosh. I'll look at that. Uh-oh. Am I back, guys? Am I streaming again? Whoops. That is why I need Comcast, guys. Sorry. Hopefully I'm back up and running. Yeah, we lost a bunch of viewers all of a sudden. Crap. Oh well. Okay, so yeah. So I changed that project to 3.5 and we'll see if that fixes it. I need to go back and add this missing method. before anything's going to build. Yeah, you know what? We might have an issue building in 3.5 anyways. But we'll see. Can I build the plugins project? No. So basically, 3.5 is missing some of the libraries that I need. Doesn't have a blocking collection. It's going to be a problem. I mean, I could restructure this, but I can't at this point because there's plugins that are using it. So that's going to be an issue, Chris. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. I might be able to build you a custom one, though, to get you what you need. Can always do that. But yeah, that's not going to work, sadly. For the default plugin system. And I would restructure this stuff, but I can't break every other plugin out there, you know? Okay, and this is what we're missing here. Get all games. Need to add an override. Get all games. That's not even showing up. Show hidden, show broken. All right. There's no suitable method found to override. That's weird. And yet there's a reference? What? Anyways. Wait, platform category. So we have has games and game count. Basically, we can use the same stuff here. Return root to data manager to games of values.where. We just need include hidden, include broken. And I don't want count. How did I miss? Okay. And we need iGame. All right. But now we have some weirdness going on here. I'm not sure what's going on. Does this build now? Yes, that builds. And this is in here. Build failed. iGame could not be found. What the heck? But that's not, that's in a completely different project. No suitable method found to override. Get all games. iGame. No, it's not iGame. This is iPlatform that we're supposed to be overriding here. Where is get all games? Oh, come on. Include hidden, include broken. It's all right there. iGame, get all games. What am I doing wrong here, Neil? Unity Preview supports 4.6. Good to know. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. Of course it does. So what do we got now? I have a feeling I broke something by changing that the project version on plugins. Is data build or unbroken.launchbox actually builds now? So does plugins? Builds. 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 What the heck? Where's my errors? Builds. I think it's this demos project somehow or other. Why is that? I don't understand. Oh, because this is 4.5.2 apparently. That has to be it. And so I think it was, all right. Okay. So plugins, I think previously was 4.5.2. It must have been. Not 4.6.2. And I'm not sure that was on purpose, but I better keep it as that. And then this guy, let's go back to 4.5.2. Goodness sakes. And we'll do a rebuild. There it is. That's it. So basically, I had plugins.demos referencing the plugins project, and I had put it as 4.6.2 instead of 4.5.2. Apparently, that was the issue. Weird. All right, so that's fixed. But now I don't have an override on get all games, and I need an override on get all games, don't I? For platform. Why is there no suitable method to override? That's what I don't understand. Am I losing my mind here? Feels like it. No suitable method found to override. Well, I'll tell you where the suitable method is. It's in... I wonder, though... You know what? Here's the thing. I think I already override that, maybe? That must be it. That's all I can figure, because platform category has this method. So maybe that's the problem. That is the interface, though, and we don't want the interface. We want the actual platform category class. There it is. Yeah. So we're going to do override on this guy. Okay. I think that was the issue. That's my best guess. And then what else? Playlist also is a platform, technically. But we don't have the same method in this one. So we can leave that alone. I think I finally got that figured out. That took way too long. Yeah, I'm on 2017. Don't you have to use override for that, though? Am I losing my mind? I guess maybe I am. Take it easy, Double O. Cool, Camel. Have a good one. Cool. All right. So, guys, that's working. It should be anyways. We got that added. Everything builds. We're good there. In the state manager, anything else we need to add to the state manager? Why do I like Foobar 2000 more than Music Beat or Media Monkey? You guys want to see my Foobar 2000 setup? I have had... That's weird. I've seen that. Oh, it's because I'm on a different internet connection. I have seen... Obviously, I've got Alice in Chains up here right now. This is a tweaked interface that I have pulled bits and pieces from various themes, so I get everything I want. I have lyrics up over here, got cover art, and then my genres and my artists. Music is a big thing for me, and I'm very anal retentive about everything. Foobar 2000 gives me features I can't get anywhere else, or at least not in the way that I want them. I also have a very custom file system format for all my music. I have basically FLAC perfect rips of all my CDs in one file with embedded cue sheets, and it's very difficult to get my music collection working in anything other than Foobar 2000. Plus, I've put a ridiculous number of hours into getting Foobar to behave exactly as I want it. So I'm anal retentive about a lot of stuff, and my music collection is one thing that I'm super anal about. So, and I have tried Music Bee, and I have tried Media Monkey, and Media Monkey would be my preference between the two, but it still doesn't appease me like I want. I love the fact that I have a simple interface here that just works really, really well. And I got artwork there. I mean, to me, this is ideal. But nobody else has this theme because I built it myself, so it is what it is. Anyway, enough about Foobar. State manager is done. Good enough for now. Any conceivable way to trigger navigation, like if I select a menu option that jumps to the series that the game is in, or is the navigation too complex for that? Trigger navigation. So you want to be able to tell Big Box to go to a certain place. Is that what you're saying, Neil? Wow, that's crazy, Neil, about your music. So, ultimately, that's certainly feasible. That's not that hard to do. I already have all those methods in the main view model. The only challenge there is going to be handling like back, because I don't have a good system in place to like track what the last view was. I didn't do that properly when I originally built it. So the biggest issue that we're gonna see there if we allow people to custom navigate places is being able to track the reverse navigation to back out of things. But we could try that. We could see what happens. I'm not sure. dig into the view models to try to do it yourself. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Obviously, it's always going to be better if I add a hook, but I don't know. Oh, you do music in Kodi retro? I mean, yeah, Kodi works for music, but yeah, well, no, the stable release isn't today, Charco. We've got to get the translations going yet, which is they're minor for this release. But then also, I want to make sure that there's a few bugs actually fixed. That's pretty important before we put out the official release. Oh, by the way, guys, one thing I noticed that I figured out on Thursday, Friday, something like that, is with the duplicate image stuff, we were having some issues, and I figured out what caused it, and that is that anytime an image was changing on the LaunchBox Games database, the CRC was not being updated on the LaunchBox Games database. So, for that reason, we are having some duplicate image issues. So just a quick update on that. I think I've got that fixed, but not necessarily going forward in the LaunchBox Games database. So I got to fix some stuff directly on the Games database for that. So FYI on that. Another thing I kind of wanted to do while on stream today, come to think about it, is to test submitting games to the LaunchBox Games database with Scott's plugin, because I haven't done that yet, believe it or not. I just was so swamped this weekend. So we have custom navigation stuff, providing a way to navigate to a particular view, which I can do. I can definitely do that, but we might run into a hitch or two, Neil. Where would we do that is the question. Where would I add a method to do that? Video alignment bug, yes. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Sid. Man, I have avoided that way too long, haven't I, brother? I'm sorry. Oh, I've got to get back to that, and man, I really need to do that before. I'll tell you what, I'll get back to that tomorrow, Sid. I'll take a look at it again. I don't want to do that on the stream because it's just so frustrating. But yes. Yes. How could I forget? Freeze out exiting main. That one still puzzles me because I've never been able to replicate that one. Can you choose playlist from the platform category screen? If you're in platform category mode, you can select a playlist from within the platform category. So yes, but you can't have a playlist be in with the platform categories. It has to be a child of a platform category. Might need an iNavigate with a function that takes in a target view name or something. Would allow for maximum ability to edit how it works in the future. Function that takes in a target view name or something. Yeah. iNavigate. All right, well, we'll get back to that, Neil, if we got time. That's going to be a can of worms. So I don't know that I want to jump in that right away. But let's... I do want to download the latest version of... has anybody played with the new... stuff from Underwood NC, the plugin for adding games to the games database. Because I'm excited to do that. Okay, I'm going to extract this plugin. Okay, and we are going to move this guy into the plugins folder and give it a test. I want to see what he's got here. I did test it briefly, but I got pulled away, and so I didn't really get a full test on it. So we got to find something that doesn't have a games database ID right now, but has metadata, and I'm probably going to find that best under DOS, maybe. Not sure. I haven't done a whole lot of custom metadata in a long time, but there it is. So XS. This is what I got last time too. And I know this is related to that plugin somehow, but I don't know why. Because I got this last time when I was trying to work with the plugin as well. But I find part of the path. It has to be the %20s. So I got to work with Scott on this one, Underwood NC. What am I doing here? Because basically that path does exist, but yeah, the problem is he's got the %20s in there, and that's breaking things. Now, why though is it? Yeah, I don't really understand what's going on. I got to look at his code and figure out why that's happening. But I remember getting that before, and then of course LaunchBox is just going to die. So I got to work with him to get that fixed. I'm not sure if you're on, Scott, but if you are, that would be a good thing to look at. Add shutdown with pin mode 2. Sure. Yeah, Spotify, that's a pretty popular option these days. And I do use it, but Labrada. Subcategories within platforms under big box mode. Yes, but not right away. Silver Child, why are you going into my ancestry here? I'm just curious. I don't mind. It's just unexpected a little bit. Yeah, %20 is a URL thing, of course, but it's still weird. I'm surprised that's well. I guess the operating system doesn't like that. I guess that makes sense. Have a way for a plugin to trigger a media download. No metadata changing, just pure get media. Huh. Get media for this games array from the normal places with a boolean to toggle if only changed media should download or not. Goodness sakes. Oh man. You guys. All right. So, I don't think Scott is here, so we need to move on from that plugin, I guess. I need to work with him to get that fixed before we move on too much. So I know that we got an hour left. Maybe, I guess the navigation stuff would be a good thing to tackle if we can figure that out. I still don't have a good concept in my head as far as the best way to do it. I'm not sure. Because right now everything is handled through the main view model. And the main view model is what fires off all that stuff. If I created an interface, what I could do is create an interface. Yeah, I know the base approach here as far as how I'm going to handle this. We need to go to the plugins project, and we have. I need to create a class, or an interface actually, called iBigBox main view model, I guess. That's not the best name, but I guess it works. I don't know that I should put that in data, probably not. And my actual view model will inherit from this interface. Okay. And then in my plugin helper, we'll add a public static iBigBox main view model. Get what just happened and set. Oh. BigBox main view model get and set. And we'll put everything in there and add a reference to that so that it's all accessible. And Make it work in both LaunchBox and BigBox. Yeah, the problem with that is things are just so different between the two. Please do not go to the Church of LaunchBox. You will die. You will die, brother. You will die. Hey, Vissy. Oh, man. Scientology. Oh. Don't read that. Don't read that crap. Please don't read that crap. Oh. Big box main view model that is used to navigate around in big box will be null when in LaunchBox. This property is automatically set by set by big box, and should not be set by any plugins. Should. Okay, and then if we get into the actual interface here, you guys are having some interesting conversations. I'm going to stay out of it all. Okay, so we need the new, where is it? The iBigBox main view model. So as far as navigation, we got to look at what, who's downvoting LaunchBox live streams. We get downvotes on everything these days. All right. We need to go to my main view model class, which is under here, view models, main view model. And we got to go through here and figure out what we should be adding. Now, I know... so we got all this stuff. Show platform category, show platform, show playlists. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we should add to begin with. Neil, let me know exactly what you're looking for, and we'll go from there. But we probably won't get too much in here right now, but it'll be a start. Thank you, Freddie. Example was the ability to select go to series and have it jump to the series view that game is a member of. The only, well, the trick there is we don't even have that right now, or do we? Do we? I think we do. Okay. So, because view series and then oh yeah, we got that, of course. So yeah, because show series. So that would be one that we needed, but we need to be able to show a particular series. That's going to show all the series, show all the sources. Basically, what you would use is a method to open a particular filter with a particular value is how you would do that. So let's start with something simple like show platform categories, and show playlists. Right? Easy enough. So void show platforms, void show platform categories, void show playlists. For a start. And then in my main view model, I just have to inherit from big box main view model. Okay. And we should still build. And the nice thing about this particular class is we can change this because nobody's going to be implementing this themselves. We can change this whenever we need. We can add new stuff after new versions are out without causing problems. So that's a good deal. Oh, guys. No, we can't be talking about that stuff. I won't have that. I won't have it. We're not going to get rid of religion. Without religion, guys, none of this stuff would exist. I hope you know that. I hope you guys all know that the Lord is what has enabled me to build all this stuff. So I don't mind talking about other religions. I don't mind talking about agnosticism and atheism and all that stuff. I'm not going to censor anybody, but I'll tell you what. Without the Lord in my life, without the Lord giving me wisdom, giving me love, giving me guidance. And I'm not talking about God in general here. I'm talking about Jesus. And without Jesus in my life, I would not have been able to do any of this. So I hope you guys realize that. And I know that's probably going to be offensive to some people. But I can't sit here and ignore everything and not share with you guys how important my faith is to this entire project. I have never been successful on my own. I have been suicidal. I have been in immense amounts of depression. I have been broken beyond belief in my past. And the only way I've ever been able to get past that is through the Lord Jesus in my life, guys. That's it. All my success has been because of the Lord. Every single thing. Now, I'm not telling you guys to stop talking about religion, all right? I get it. But I cannot see all this religious talk come up on my screen without sharing with you guys my faith. The reason why I am 100% confident that God exists, that the Lord exists, that Jesus died for my sins, is because if that hadn't have happened, I would not be sitting here today doing all this stuff with you guys. I would be dead. I would be gone. I wouldn't have ever been able to do anything with my life. That is why I know. I mean, I don't want to share like everything about my past, everything about my history. I don't want to share necessarily every single problem I've had. But I have had problems that should have put me in prison. Just been lucky to avoid all that stuff. So I mean, you can talk about my ancestry, okay? You can talk about the fact that, oh, I'm a Christian because, that's what I've been around. Frankly, that's not why I'm a Christian, guys. I'm a Christian because I couldn't handle myself in any other way. I'm a Christian because without my faith, I couldn't even function. And I get a little bit broken up about it because I've been through some pretty awful stuff. I've done some pretty awful things, and I'm forgiven for that. And that's powerful. That's powerful. The reason why I put scripture in stuff, the reason why I pray, is because I'm just not capable of doing any of this stuff without that. That's the truth. And I love the Lord because He has given me success in ways that I could not do it otherwise. I feel loved where I could have never felt any love before. So there you guys go. Does Jesus have a Patreon account? I don't think Jesus. Well, Jesus, of course, what Jesus would want is for us to give all our money to the poor. That's what Jesus would want. Everyone has or will go through a hard time in their life, absolutely. And for me personally, I couldn't have done it without the Lord. No worries. I mean, I'm not addressing anyone in particular. I'm really not. I'm not trying to cause a bunch of drama. But I can't see, I can't see a conversation in a negative light without speaking up. Me too, Nash. Me too. Yeah, I don't. I take a live and let live stance as well. However, I know what the truth is, and I stand by the truth. And I am doing everyone around me a massive disservice if I don't share that truth with them. The last thing I ever want to do is push my faith on anybody, guys, and I do not want to push my faith on anyone. But I cannot just sit here quietly and ignore all this stuff. That would be worse. All right. So we added these starting methods here. We just need to keep adding them and flesh them out. So in the case of going to a particular filter for like series, I think we would use show games, and you feed in the filter type, the name, the query, and the filters. So we probably want to expose something like that. We also have query and filters. So basically what this is the custom nested filter stuff. But if we feed null over into that, then we have everything we need already. And then show game shows the game details. So we definitely need that. We don't need anything that special here, although we do need a method without the playlist filters, I think. Query is the search query. The filter type, this is going to be tricky. We already have a big box filter type. Yeah, that's already coming from plugins. Good. And then we have show all games. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're going to add, let's see, public void, show games, filter type, and string filter value. And we're also going to need the query. We probably need all of that stuff, you know, exposed and accessible. But we definitely need one that's simpler, that people can call. The other thing is platforms. There is a platform option as well right here. Okay. Filter type, filter value. We're just going to simply call show games, filter type, name. Name is actually filter value. Silly. Filter value. And then we're going to do null and null. So that's a start. And if we go to our state manager, no, our big box main view model, we need a void show games, filter type, and string filter value. which we just added. And we should add the query and the playlist filters there as well. Might as well add that definition as well. Actually, this is not easy because we have to use an iPlaylist instead. Come to think of it. So that might be tricky. So let's skip that for now. We can add that later. But we definitely need the platform version of it, which is just feeding the platform over. So void show games platform, no, iPlatform platform. Okay. And public void show games iPlatform platform is going to call this .show games platform null and null. That should do it. So I get that navigating to a series would be a filter. What about to a specific platform? That's what I just added. So show games platform. Make it highlight the target game. That might be tricky. I don't think we have anything in there to do that right now. Actually, well, yes, we do. Although it just uses the setting, the last game. So we'd have to add something for that. Although there is a way to go into game details. That makes sense. Pre-highlighting the correct game. We can look into that. We definitely, I mean, there's a lot more methods to add here. That's the thing. There's a ton more methods that I should add. I just need to go through the main view model and add everything that we're missing. So let me pull that up over here and I'll just start adding a bunch of stuff. The other, oh, you know what? Before we do that though, we have to make sure that this is actually populated. Because right now in the iState Manager, not iState Manager, in the plugin helper, there's nothing that is setting the big box main view model. So what we need to do is in the main view model, in the constructor, I just have to set that property. We just have to say plugin helper dot big box main view model equals this. So that's easy enough. Isn't related to this. State manager. Is there a way to show if a tracked mode is currently operating? There isn't, but we can add that. Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. We're going to go back to, for now, back here, and I want to go through and see what else I can add that will be useful. going through a bunch of initialization stuff here, which isn't going to really be what we need. There's a show images method for a particular game. But we have a child. Yeah, that's not going to work so hot. That one's going to be tricky, so I'm going to skip that one for now. We have show platforms, show playlists, which we already have, show platform categories, show genres, show developers, show publishers, show ratings, show play modes, show regions, show series, show statuses, show sources. Okay. Show options. Show system. And then show games will show whatever is the current game model. Basically, whatever games are currently were last shown is what that will do. Then I have a method that goes back. I don't think that's... I'm not going to expose that right now. We need show all games. Then we're in the various different show games methods. Show game, which shows a particular game. This is going to show game details. iGame game. Filter type. Which I am going to have to restructure that a little bit. Go ahead and do that. Okay, and then I start getting into input stuff. I think that's probably it for now. I mean, that provides basic navigation stuff. The one thing that Neil mentioned, though, was being able to select a particular game when you navigate to those, which is not supported yet. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. That's going to take some restructuring. Refresh game. Refresh game is what class is that part of? That's part of the game view model, right? Tim Hortons coffee. Trigger the keyboard to pop up. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right now that is, well, yeah, I think I have the stuff to support that. Text games view model, that refresh game. Sure. So basically, the games view model has that refresh game, which basically just refreshes everything for that particular game. It's tricky because it's different for every single type of game view. So that might be kind of a problem, but I'm not sure. The other thing is that's from the actual game view model and not in the main view model, because I don't think I have refresh game in the main view model. No, I don't. So I would have to add something for that. Yeah, the keyboard though is a great idea. So I wonder, there's a way to do that. I have show. Well, for example, I have a search method. Show search pop-up. And basically, yeah, I have an event that basically does all that stuff in my keyboard view model. So what I could do is create void show on screen keyboard. We're gonna need string text. We're gonna need action of type just a string that is going to return the text. Or should I... Yeah, we're not going to... I don't want to block the process. So this is what's going to run when it's done, ultimately. Text entered, I guess. Something like that, right? Selecting a specific game might go hand in hand with adding a spin to random game function to the core app. Yeah. And right now we do have a method in there to go to a specific game because it does go to the last game that was selected, but I haven't exposed that to all the right places yet, so that's something I would need to add. We do need a random game option for Big Box, absolutely. So what do you think about this on-screen keyboard stuff, though, Neil? So basically, that's going to pop up the keyboard, and then if the user presses enter when they're done with their text, that's what it's going to... That action it will be called. You can pre-fill the text, yeah. I don't like this name here though, text entered. String text. Let's call it on text on finished, I guess. on return. Yeah, I'll leave it on finished. So what we can do then to implement that is public void, what did I call it? I can't even remember now. Show on-screen keyboard. Let's just copy this. So it's going to be very similar to this. Do we want to pause all videos and stuff? I'm going to say yes. And we do invoke. That's fine. I'm going to copy this stuff. And what we'll do is we initialize the new keyboard view model, and we feed in text. Now, does it matter which constructor we use there? Apparently it does. Oh, then it just, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. That's fine. Okay. Okay, and then on done, instead of calling this .search, we simply call on finished, except, okay, so we'll keep this stuff. This dot, no, not this. We just need on finished, and we feed the text over like that, and then we show the pop-up of that model, and that should do it. That's all we really need. Now there's a few other things that we're missing in here, I think. Do you have a generic tool for lists, like the playlist selection list box? You know, basically what that is a standard .NET list box. So no, I don't really have a tool for lists. Pause and play functions, sure. Take care, Dave. Same tool as you clone the style XAML of the playlist selection box for adding a game to a playlist and added a custom element over it for a title. Sure. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I mean, right now there's nothing that custom in there for the playlists. There is some stuff for input, if I remember correctly, and of course the styles, but I don't think there's anything that special. Okay, so we need the show system method. Show system is already there, but it's missing, or it has an extra parameter, I think. Show system public void show system. We just need to call this .show system false. I guess, I mean, I could add that, but yeah, that might actually be a good idea. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to expose this. Rebuild basically means if you need to rebuild the view models for change settings or whatever, that's what you would do. And I'm actually going to make that not optional. Show system bool rebuild. Okay, and we just have to feed this over. The default value is false. So just put in false there. And there. And where was it? Oh, it's on my other screen. Duh. All right, false. Okay. So. Might be worth in the future supplying some modals for big box like how WinForm supplies some stock dialogues. Yeah, agreed. And I think, I mean, we don't really have that many right now, but I already have, I have a utility library to do that, so we could add that. What are you talking about, Frederick? Hey, Matic. Okay. So we are built. We actually added quite a bit of functionality here in the last 20 minutes. Half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is. I need take it easy, Shivat. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Frederick. I get it. I get it now. I was confused. I was lost. Silver Child, I'm beginning to feel like you're mocking me, my friend. Which wouldn't be the first time I've ever been mocked before, honestly. So, anyways, what's next, Neil? What's next? We got we got 10-15 minutes left. So I don't know. We could add. I mean, there's plenty to do. It's just what can I do without causing taking a bunch of time. But I need to. What I want to do shortly after the stream is put out a beta so that I can get it over to Andrew Nintendo to test that particular startup issue and test some of the other issues because we got to make sure that everything is stable. That's the main focus today. Is I want to get everything out and ready to go by Thursday at the latest to get this release going. And I think we're pretty close to a release, but of course I've got to go do all the stuff and check out all the bugs and make sure that we're not we don't put out a buggy release. Silver Child, I don't want to talk to you about my movies, man. Frankly, because I don't trust you, brother. Don't trust you. So, sorry, but I'm going to stay on topic instead of talking to you about all my personal stuff because you know what? I can't trust everybody I meet. State manager to big box in a track mode. Good idea, Neil. Easy enough. All right, so that is in here. We just need... We have is big box locked, is big box in attract mode. Get. Might as well put a comment in here. I got a lot of comments to add, but gets a value specifying whether big box is in attract mode or not. Okay. And then of course the actual state manager object. We need this is going to be tricky. Public bool is in attract mode, and I think there might actually be a way for me to get that directly from the view model, but that's going to be tricky. Let me check. Because we have, yeah, I got to figure out what the best way to do that is. The view model, the main view model right now, the attract mode stuff is all in here. We have initialize attract mode. Attract mode timer. Don't we have something already? How do I check to see if we're in attract mode? I know we've got something already for this. Yeah. Come on. On elapsed. Bool, attract mode moving, direction, accelerating, decelerating, speed. Yeah, I'm back. All right, come on. There's a method somewhere that tells me whether attract mode is enabled or not, or running, whether we're in attract mode, and I've got to find that. And I think that happens. I think that happens in the view models, but I got to find that. I know there's ways for me to add this stuff. I mean, it's not difficult for me to add it, but I know I'm already doing it. DJ Blades, no, actually we are working on that right now. Alex Vlansix is taking a look at the moderation issues right now in the games database. So that is, I'm sorry for that. We've had some issues there, and Alex is currently working on trying to get those resolved. So that'll be fixed here soon. Bootstrapper.attract mode running. You got it, Neil. Where the heck did you... Goodness sakes. You got to stop decompiling my code, Neil. That's what's going on here. But thank you. Yes, you found it. Bootstrapper.attract mode running. Except that's not the right one. This inherits this guy. So we set this apparently manually. Huh. That's the one, though. It's an interesting spot for it. I must have added that. I added that a long time ago. Weird. Yeah, and we just set it the right spots already, so it's that simple. That's all we need. So I'm just gonna go back to, where were we? Need to go to my, is it state manager? Yeah, but come on, there it is. We just need to, all I need to do is this. Bootstrapper, except we don't have access to Bootstrapper, do we? From this project. Or, yeah, I don't have access to Bootstrapper. So basically what I'm going to have to do is move that property over to here. So I guess we're going to do a get and set on that. We'll have to set it just like we set, like, is big box locked? We got to do the same thing, which is going to be annoying. What's the problem here? Oh, is big box in attract mode? Okay. And then in my Bootstrapper, oh, that was right. WPF Bootstrapper. I need to get rid of this property, and we're going to have to do a big search and replace. Attract mode running. And fix all the wonderful errors. So what we need to do is just search for this and replace it with the state manager, which is in what? That's the plugin helper dot state manager dot is big box. What is it? Is big box in attract mode? And then, of course, we're going to have to import the plugin helper for all these. But no, all the WPF crap. Ah. Too bad that's everywhere. That's a big pain in the butt. I should just add that to the search, is what I should do. Alright, fine. So we're going to change this to WPF then, and replace like that. Make it a little easier. There's a lot of these, apparently. Okay, and then of course we're gonna have to import stuff, do a save all, and rebuild, and we're gonna have some errors to fix. And I think that'll be the last thing we do here for this stream. And we're basically just have to import all of these using statements. 11, that's not too bad. Almost there. Cannot be assigned to. Oh, well that's tricky. I didn't think about that. And that was the one I missed. And there's the other part where I assign it. So, well, really what I need to do is, I think what I can do is just cast this as the actual state manager object instead of the interface, and that'll solve that for us. That's good. And then there's one other spot. Makes sense, there's only 2 spots where we set it. And that should do it in theory. That should give us our, finally give us our attract mode stuff. All right, and I'm going to wrap up here, guys. I'm going to hear my daughter down there crying. So now is the time to end the stream. Oh, the obsolete attribute. It's interesting. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, I wish you were here earlier because we were going over some of your stuff. I need to talk to you, man. I'm getting an error coming up with the plugin, so I'll hit you up on the forums and we can talk about it. Take it easy, Chris. Later, Sid, Matic, Neil, Luke. Thank you guys so much. We definitely had a productive stream. So thank you, and good times. Have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Hopefully I have proper Comcast by then, huh? So we'll see. We'll see if Comcast screws up again. Take it easy, folks. Thank you very much. See you guys on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. PST.